Overnight, the U.S. debt clock shows their DOGE clock hitting $17 billion saved on January 25th of 2025. This is epic. Elon Musk is saving us billions of dollars. Under the Department of Government Efficiency Advisory Commission, the real-time savings objective from reducing government waste, fraud, and abuse in federal government agencies. Now that we know Elon Musk is fully supporting Donald Trump for the presidency, it's becoming quite interesting the amount of detail Elon is beginning to show us that he is on the right side of history. First taking over Twitter, now X, for free speech. Now they're talking about he's going to be going into Trump's government, if he wins, for the Department of Government Efficiency, which stands for DOGE. You know, the meme Dogecoin cryptocurrency he promotes. It seems like this has been the plan all along. They just needed time to expose everything that's happening, to wake the people up to the right side of history, to make sure our money is going to the right places and not in the hands of other countries, which could then land in the hands of the deep state. And he also starts mentioning the Epstein client list.
Yeah, which he's mentioned publicly several times, and he's very supportive of having some kind of, government efficiency commission. You can call it Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. I kind of like DOGE. It's more fun.
And here he is explaining how the Department of Government Efficiency will give the power back to the people, and also explaining how DOGE is going to work reducing the size of government and how important it is to manage government funds to go towards helping the American people.
So if you do choose to be the head of the Department of Government Efficiency?
Yeah, DOGE.
Yep. What do you think about we stop giving money to other countries such as Israel, Ukraine, and we stop funding forever wars that most likely is going to the deep state anyway?
Yeah. Well, I think in general the amount of waste that happens with the federal government is really staggering. It's a staggering amount of waste of taxpayer money. And if we're, for any given expenditure, we have to say, well, what does this do for the citizens of America? Like, how is this good for the people of America? It's their money. Like, for some weird reason, a lot of people in the sort of, state or whatever, the politicians, they seem to forget that the money being spent is your money. And if it's not being spent in a way that is beneficial to the American people, it's a misuse of the funds.
Look, it's been a long time since there was a serious effort to reduce the size of government and to remove absurd regulations.
Yeah.
And the last time there was a really concerted effort on that front was Reagan in the early 80s. So we're 40 years away from a serious effort to remove regulations that don't serve the greater good and reduce the size of government. And I think it's just, if we don't do that, then what's happening is that we get regulations and laws accumulating every year until eventually everything's illegal.
Elon recently went on Tucker Carlson's show explaining how if Trump wins the election, the Epstein client list will become public. And some of the billionaires behind Kamala, including Bill Gates, are afraid of that outcome.
I think part of why Kamala's getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gates.
And Gates.
Yeah.
And I only ask that because you just look at them and you're like, that's a nervous person right there.
Yeah, he's terrified of a Trump victory.
Because of the disclosure that would follow?
I think he's certainly ideologically not aligned with Trump anyway, but I think he is concerned about the Epstein situation. Like the DOJ might actually move forward.
Then they talk about Epstein Island and his other properties that had cameras in every room recording what these people were doing. He mentions there are several thousands of hours of video footage, using that footage as blackmail, and also mentions Diddy, and that Diddy also had cameras recording.
There are a lot of videos, apparently, those rooms on the island, and I think out in New Mexico, were wired for video.
Right.
And
where's the video? I mean, between Diddy and Epstein, there's probably several thousand hours of footage here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they talk about the people on those videos that lecture us about our moral failures, deflecting attention away from them onto us, which is projection. They say we are and Trump is the threat to democracy, but they are the ones who are the threat. Talk about psychological warfare.
It's kind of weird that the people on those videos are lecturing the rest of us about our moral failings, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird.
What is that?
Well, I mean, part of how they deflect attention from themselves is by, criticizing the morals of others.
Yes.
So it's sort of like a preemptive moral strike.
Yes.
I mean, as I said, I think those who are saying Trump is a threat to democracy are themselves actually the threat to democracy.
He admits if Trump wins, we are going to do some house cleaning and shed light on things.
I think if Trump wins, we can do some house cleaning and shed light on things.
Elon explains how the puppets read from teleprompters, and if the teleprompter stops, the puppets are on loop, repeating, which we've seen Kamala do. And many of the puppets and the puppet masters that could be on the Epstein client list, he bets that there are a lot of the same names on both lists.
But it's just obvious that Biden's not in charge. It's obvious that Kamala's not in charge. I mean, they just replaced the Biden puppet with the Kamala puppet, very obviously. And so you can tell, like, if the teleprompter stops working, then the puppet breaks. And it's like, whoop. the puppet just starts looping because the teleprompter broke. I don't have a teleprompter. I can just talk like a normal human. So I mean, I think it's not, from what I can tell, it's not one puppet master, it's many, but, interesting to see the crossover between the Epstein client list and Kamala's puppet masters. I bet there's a lot of names that appear in both lists.
Lastly, he jokes with Tucker that if Trump doesn't win, he's fucked, and wonders if he will see his kids when they put him in jail.
If he loses, man, what? You're fucked, dude.
I'm fucked. If he loses, I'm fucked.
It does seem that way. You can't just be like,
Yeah, I'm like, how long do you think my prison sentence is going to be? Do you think? Will I see my children? I don't know.
Because it's not like you can say, well, yeah, I maxed out.
And with all this in mind, remember earlier this year, comedian Cat Williams told us that this year of 2024 is going to be the year lies are going to be exposed, and specifically calls out Diddy, who is now in jail facing hundreds of victims and lawsuits. The truth is the light.
Bye.
You just can't help it. That's okay.